Hello, I'm Mrs. Charity. Welcome to the Glorious Heritage Overview of Catholic Church History. Discover the amazing story of the Church together as a family as you color and paste your way through the timeline and printables, which you can find on our website. And now, let's move into our topic for today.
Hello, I'm Mr. Charity, and welcome to the Glorious Heritage Catholic History video series. Today's topic is number 68, the Crusading Orders. If you look on your timeline and summary question sheets, you'll notice that we are in the yellow time period, which we have named Kingdom. If you don't have a timeline or summary question sheets, you can find them on our website. Even though the Crusades did not recapture Jerusalem by the end of the Ninth Crusade, they were nonetheless very important in the history of Christendom. They focused the attention, prayers, and hopes of all Christians throughout the West as a battle for Christ and His Church. To aid the crusading efforts, new military orders of monk knights were formed. We already talked about them a little bit. In fact, it was a Catholic saint, Saint Bernard de Clairvaux, who really promoted the idea. Because of him, the famous military order was founded, the Knights Templar. Do you remember from a prior video that they started a banking system so that pilgrims did not have to get robbed on their way to the Holy Land? They protected pilgrims, but they also fought bravely in many battles. They defeated armies several times their size. Another famous order is the Knights Hospitaller. They had their start by making a hospital in the Holy Land for those who were sick and injured. They called this hospital the Hospital of St. John the Baptist. Even though they took care of the sick and injured, they also grew into a powerful group of knights who fought many battles and won many victories. When the Holy Land fell to the Muslims, the Knights Hospitaller fled to the island of Cyprus, and then later they fled to the island of Malta. In later history, they became known by two different names. Did you ever hear of the Knights of St. John or the Knights of Malta? They are both different names for the Knights Hospitaller. Yet another very unique group of knight monks is the Knights of St. Lazarus. These knights had the job of taking care of lepers. Lepers were people who suffered from the disease of leprosy, which caused their body to die and rot away while they were still alive. Leprosy was a fearful disease because it was very contagious and there was no cure for it. So these knights were very brave and charitable because it meant that by taking care of the lepers, they also could get leprosy. In fact, many knights did get leprosy, but they still fought as knights. The Muslims were very afraid of these knights, not just because they were strong, but because the Muslims did not want to get leprosy, this dreaded disease, while they were fighting the Knights of St. Lazarus. The last order of knights I'll tell you about now is the Teutonic Knights. These knights all came from the lands of Germany. They were created with a blessing of the Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor. The Teutonic Knights established a headquarters in the city of Acre, lending their swords to fight against the Muslims in the Holy Land. After the fall of the Holy Land, the Teutonic Knights returned to Germany, where they fought more crusades, but not against Muslims, but against the last remaining pagans who still lived in Northern Europe. Now St. Simon Stock will tell you more about the Knights Hospitaller.
Hello, I'm St. Simon Stock, and I want to tell you a bit more about the Knights Hospitallers. Mr. Charity said they eventually became known as the Knights of Malta. That is because much later in Christian history, the knights fled to the tiny island of Malta in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. These knights were small in number, but they were a major headache for the Ottoman Muslim Empire. The Knights of Malta were great sailors and would often destroy Ottoman pirate ships. One of the most famous battles in history is the Siege of Malta, where the Ottomans sent a very large army to conquer only a couple hundred knights, but they were not able to. God had protected his brave and faithful group of knights in 1565.
Welcome back. Let me tell you a true story about when the Knights Templar defeated a much larger army at the Battle of Montgisard in 1177. In the 12th century, a legendary battle unfolded at Montgisard, where the valiant Knights Templar faced an overwhelming Muslim force. The enemy, led by the mighty Saladin, outnumbered them greatly, their numbers like the sands of the desert. We, a small band of Templars, stood firm in our faith, our swords ready and our hearts steadfast. The odds were against us, but our spirits were bolstered by the righteousness of our cause. We were the guardians of the Holy Land, and we would not yield. The Muslim army, vast and confident, marched towards Jerusalem, certain of victory. But we knew the land, and we knew God was with us. We set up our trap, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As Saladin's forces stretched out across the plains, we seized the moment. With a thunderous charge, we broke upon them like a divine storm. The clash was titanic, the din of battle echoing. Despite their numbers, the Muslim soldiers faltered before a relentless assault. Miraculously, as the sun set on the fateful day, it was we, the outnumbered, who stood victorious. The field was ours, the enemy scattered or slain. Their dreams of conquest were dashed upon the rocks of our resolve. Against insurmountable odds was not just a military feat. It was a day when few brave souls turned the tide of history. That is all for today. In our next video, we'll talk about the famous theologian Duns Scotus. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today. Visit our website, www.gloriousheritagecartoons.com, where you can find more educational supplements, cartoons, books, and printables. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to get notified of our latest updates and videos. And if you like our work and want to support us, you can make a donation on our website or on Patreon. We really appreciate your generosity and kindness. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time.